Hello everyone, I'm the FrenchMonk and welcome back to another video, one that I had in mind for, let's say, a pretty long while. So most of you that watch my videos and subscribe to the channel did this because you share my love and interest for the Napoleonic Wars era, and also the fact that I make a lot of videos about this specific period. Now, one of the first games that got me into this era was Napoleon Total War, which was released in 2010. I absolutely loved that game, and I still do to this very day. What an amazing game, and I actually love the improvements that they made over its predecessor, although I still gotta admit, my favorite Total War remains Empire. But anyways, enough of Total War. As you've probably seen by the title of this video, I'm going to be sharing my experience and story of how I became a Mount and Blade Napoleonic Wars YouTuber, and not only that, but also how I became an officer. So I'll be starting my story right at the very beginning when I first bought the game, and then I'll tell you guys which regiments I joined throughout the years and how I got to where I am now. So I bought the Mount and Blade collection, which included Mount and Blade, Warband, its DLC Napoleonic Wars, and Fire and Sword on the 25th of November 2012. I bought this collection after seeing videos of the Mount and Musket mod, and also the fact that a lot of my Steam friends were actually buying that game as well, because, well, these were the days that the community around this game was actually really growing at a rapid rate. So I first played native Mount and Blade a lot, getting to know the mechanics of the game on my own, before joining my very first regiment, which was the 22nd Cheshire Regiment of Foot, under the command of Colonel Murphy, who took over command 3 weeks after the regiment actually got disbanded in early 2012, when it was under command of Diplex. I'm not sure, but I think that this is the same Diplex that currently goes under the name Diplex Heated, and actually has his own YouTube channel with over 500,000 subscribers. So I enlisted there, and I stayed with the 22nd for a long while, I think it was half a year, maybe more, and this was before I started making YouTube videos, so the exact dates of when and how is kind of sketchy. In any case, I know I got promoted 2 times. I started as a rookie recruit, and I got promoted to private after, I believe, a month or so, and then after a few months of hard work and training, I actually earned the rank of regular. Now, it was with this regiment that I learned all the basics of the game, and a lot more. I learned how to melee properly, how to chamber, how to block, how to fend off multiple opponents, and above all, discipline. Now, due to the number of people that were present in this regiment, which were a lot, you were easily overlooked, and especially when it came to promotions at a later stage, this was the case. So, after not having been promoted or awarded something for my increasing skill level in the game, and dedication for the regiment, I left the 22nd. I had a lot of fun with them, but I felt like it was time to go to a smaller regiment and further increase my experience in the game, and yeah, to get to know the community. So I pretty much joined the German regiment, but I only stayed there for a few weeks. The events were good though, and the people were nice. It's just I was also focused on the old clan that I was in, called the Monks, of which I became one of its leaders for a few years. So eventually I quit playing Napoleonic Wars on a regimental base to focus more on the clan. In 2014, however, some of the monks, some of the members of our clan, had bought Mount and Blade as well, along with the Napoleonic Wars DLC. And this was actually around the same time that I started making videos for YouTube. For those who've been with me and the channel since the very beginning, well, you guys know I love to play a game called Team Fortress 2. And some of the first videos I made, if you look them up, were gameplay videos covering that game, obviously without commentary. So a couple of our guys had Napoleonic Wars, and I can't exactly remember who, It could have been Shadow, it could have been Mystic and Monk, or maybe even Belgian Monk, but I know one of them got us our very own server on Napoleonic Wars. I believe 10 to 20 slots or something like that, which was more than enough as we didn't play line battles, but we just played for the lols. So we did like these ridiculous last stands against bots while we were lining up and such. I actually recorded these events, if you can call them like that, and I titled them Funny Trainings, and I uploaded some of these on YouTube. It was actually the first popular series on my channel now that I think of it, especially considering I had like 20 to 40 subscribers back in the day, and I reached like 150 views for the first few episodes. And yeah, after seeing that much positive response, I mean that was pretty much the first time I got really excited as a YouTuber recording Napoleonic Wars, a game I really enjoyed playing. So we did this for a few months, and then after a long while, I think it was like early 2015. Now I can't remember if my cousin was contacted by Doobie or if he contacted Doobie. But in any case, he told me that we could play, that we had the opportunity to play as our very own line regiment in a brigade called the Les Gardes Suisses. The Les Gardes Suisses had actually they had several regiments back then. They had the Swiss 1ER under the command of Space, which played as line, lights and cavalry. They had the Swiss 2E under command of Musketeer, the Swiss 3, which played as cavalry. I can't really remember the leader of that regiment. I think it was Reginald. And then the Swiss 4E was the artillery. There was no Swiss 5E, but we called ourselves the Swiss 6E, as we felt it had a nice ring to it. Now, my first official Napoleonic Wars event that I recorded on the channel was a siege event on February 18th, 2015. Now, I played and recorded this game on a laptop, so the frame rate and stuff isn't that great, but they're still good videos. We had a lot of fun back then. And keep in mind, most of us were new to the whole regiment thingy, except for me and Belgian. Like, we already played in regiments before, but the rest didn't. They were all new. So Belgian became first in command of our little line as he was granted the rank of Oberst, and I became second in command as I was granted the rank of Hauptmann. We became officers pretty much because of the fact that we had a little bit more experience than the others, and we were already leaders of most of our members, so hence. Our line steadily became known within the Swiss as a very small but very close group of people, obviously because of the fact that all of them already knew each other before we joined the Swiss, because most of them were members of our clan, the Monks. The skill level of our member when we joined the Swiss was it was decent, but since we joined the Swiss, it was developing at a rapid speed, actually making it really difficult for some regiments out there to fight us when we were in melee. Now, Belgian and myself, we swapped roles on the 15th of June 2015, because I was more focused on the regiment of Napoleonic Wars, and he focused himself a little bit more on our old clan, the Monks, for which, well, we also did various events for, so I think that was only a logic decision, as obviously we both wanted the clan and the regiment to come first place, so we had to, yeah, we didn't want to lose focus on the other members that we had, whom did not have Mount & Blade Napoleonic Wars, but still wanted to play games with us. Other games like, I'm gonna say it, Minecraft back then, and Team Fortress 2, and many more. So we stayed with the Swiss for almost a year, until I was seduced to the dark side. Being the rookie regiment leader like that, I was unfortunately promised certain things by another officer of the Swiss, if I followed him, along with another Swiss regiment. They were actually planning on leaving the Swiss because of reasons I still don't entirely understand. But then again, it was all about power, getting a lot of people on your side, and so on. Now, unfortunately, I agreed, and I followed him with my regiment to the Royal Anglian Brigade, or shortly put RAB. Now, long story short, this brigade did not last very long. I think about 2 to 3 months. This is because of internal problems, and well, they were mainly caused by the staff and their way of managing and leading the brigade, eventually turning it into a regiment. And it was at this point that I said, enough is enough. I'll make my own regiment, because I was stupid like that. This was in March 2016. So I went back to the roots of our old clan, the Monks, and I named my regiment the IMR, the Imperial Monk Regiment. Wow, what a name, French. I know, right? Very original. Didn't last long either. Think about 2 months, but the problems at least they weren't staff related, but just one of my non-commissioned officers, whom had his own section, he chose to be a bit of a troublemaker and a troll, never showing up with his squad for events and trainings and such, and that started an argument like so many others are made throughout the history of the Napoleonic Wars gaming community. And yeah, it split us apart, and this problem unfortunately found its way into the Monks clan as well, because the NCO was also a monk. So I eventually sought the support of the Swiss brigade again as the drama unfolded in my old monk clan. I'm not going to delve too deep into those problems. So I was accepted back into the Swiss after apologies were made, and I made the Swiss 5e. I still had people with me that followed me ever since the Swiss 6e, and a few obviously joined later on, especially after the Monk clan split, not long after we joined the Swiss brigade again. So I made the Swiss 5e in April 2016, and we have stayed with the Swiss till this very day. That's quite a long time now, now that I think of it. And yeah, that was pretty much my whole story of how I became an officer, and I met some really amazing people along the road to becoming an officer in the Swiss, and among those people, soon to be well-known YouTubers actually. And I got some really cool anecdotes for you guys to finish this video, obviously if you want to hear them. So I remember in the second event that I recorded with the Swiss 6e back in 2015, I heard about this guy called Chatman, or Chattopia, supposedly a Napoleonic Wars caster with over 10,000 subscribers. He was actually casting that very same line battle we joined, and which I recorded with the 6e on February 22nd. And after I heard whom he was, from Doobie, I looked up his channel, I looked up the cast that he did, the video, I watched it, and I saw his reaction to our monk names.
He's lost quite a number of his line there, looks like at least 5 casualties out of his full line. And here is the 6e, the fine Mr. Oberst, Belgian monk, French monk, Danish monk, Russian monk. Oh, the monk brothers. Oh, I think that's fantastic. Look at all these monks. Italian monk. Oh, the monks. Oh, that's fantastic. I love it. A collection of different countryed monks. How we heartily approve of this.
So I saw his reaction to our monk names, and obviously I commented on his video. He of course saw my comment, recognized me from his cast, and obviously our very cool monk names. And yeah, I gave him the link to our point of view, which obviously he watched our video, and he put the link of that video in the description of his video. And ever since that moment, well, ever since that day, we started talking with each other on Steam, giving each other tips on YouTube, the Napoleonic Wars community, keeping each other up to date on games, trends, just talking with each other, and that till this very same day, which is unbelievable. I mean, we even did a few collabs along the way, like the back then new Star Wars Battlefront, and obviously you guys should know Stick Fight by now. Did a couple of videos on those as well, and I'm sure we're gonna make a lot more videos in the nearby future. Now I met another cool guy, another soon-to-be YouTuber, when I was leading the Swiss 5e in I believe it was a Friday event hosted by our Swiss brigade back then, in August 2016. Now I vaguely remember these Friday events to be special because we modded or we scripted the shooting so that it was way more improved, and we could actually hit people cross map easily. So this guy called Resonant shows up. Musketeer said that he wanted to merc for the Swiss 5e, and we had a pretty good attendance back then. So I said, okay, yeah, sure. So he played for us, and I did not know that he was a YouTuber as well, until after I posted my point of view on YouTube. Now keep in mind I had about 250 maybe-ish subscribers back then, and he commented on my video about the same time that I found out he was a YouTuber, and that he recorded that same event as well. I believe he had 7,000, 8,000 subscribers back then. Obviously he'll know for sure. He inspired me to make this video, by the way, if you couldn't tell. So I subscribed to his channel. I think we actually got to know one another pretty well. Well, I say pretty well, but we saw each other in our YouTube roles, I guess you could say, about a year later, in September 2017, when we both recorded pre-release gameplay of the amazing Napoleonic Wars game that is Hold Fast, Nations at War. As you guys probably know by now, via chat I got into contact with the developers, and they actually allowed me to play and record the game for a few weeks before release, just like all the other YouTubers. I think I was the second smallest YouTuber to record this game, with only, I think, 300 subscribers that we reached back then. So once that crazy period of spamming new Napoleonic Wars content was over, we got into contact with each other, mainly because of Chad. Of course, who else? Chad actually wanted to make some funny videos, and so we did our first collab together, along with Astir, whom you guys probably know from the 77Y. So we played a stick fight, as I said before. Those videos are really cool. Definitely check them out if you haven't already. They're a lot of fun. And yeah, apart from Chatopia and Resonant, I met a ton of people throughout my years of Napoleonic Wars, and as I said, some of them became YouTubers, or some of them were YouTubers and are now well-known YouTubers, and others are just, yeah, they're still with me, or we part ways somewhere and they are now in another regiment or in another community, or maybe they stopped playing, I don't know. But in any case, I met a lot of great people along the way, and that's one of my favorite things about Napoleonic Wars, about playing that game. Just the fact that we can meet so many new people, have fun together, and play Napoleonic Wars, which is absolutely great. Now, to kind of make the link with today, I'm really sorry for the lack of Napoleonic Wars videos, but you may have noticed that smaller regiments get into problems nowadays because, well, the game is old. I mean, everyone's waiting for something new, or they are tired of this game at the moment. Yeah, so anyways, I'm actually hoping for Bannerlord to reignite that spark again, maybe in the form of a DLC for Napoleonic Wars, or maybe some of the modders can fix us a musket mod. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed my own story of how I got into the Napoleonic Wars gaming community of Mount & Blade, and how I became a YouTuber and an officer. Now, what would be cool is to see how many people actually recognize me, maybe from events, or maybe from the 22nd, or other regiments I played as a mercenary for, or met whilst playing this great game. So if you have met me, or you have played with me at some point, or you recognize me from an event, make sure to post a comment down below. I would actually love to check it out. Maybe I'll remember you too. I can't promise anything though, as my memory is pretty shit. But anyways, make sure to post a comment down below, and yeah, hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone.